into detail, I realized that many people have the same problem. And I was thinking how I can make the gym work for everyone. And now I have surrounded a lot of people around me to help make the gym work for everyone. Our approach is really based on connectivity and lots of great partnerships to really help us to make the gym work for everyone. A quick overview. Yes, as you said, I've founded eGym roughly 7 years ago. After 2 years of R&D, we're now 5 years in the market. We have so far successfully entered 12 different countries in the world. More than 2,000 facilities use our products. We have more than 50 connected partners. I will speak later what does that mean for us. And we have raised so far more than $60 million in venture capital. And that makes us one of the larger technology investors in the global gym space. When I thought how to make the gym work for everyone, we together as a team, we have developed 3 rules in order to make the gym work for everyone. And those 3 rules sound very simple, but we believe if we would apply all these 3 rules to the training floor, they're really powerful. And the rule number 1 for us is the gym needs to be easy to use. You know, while the industry was founded by people really passionate about the gym, today, thanks to so many professional gym operators in the world, the gym has become a mass market. And mass market customers are great because there are so many of them, but they have the downside that they're less engaged as someone who thinks that fitness is the number 1 topic in her life. And so for those less engaged mass market customers, in order to make the gym work, it needs to be extremely easy to use. It's really hard to imagine that to have mass market customers remembering the seat setup, the weight setup. It's hard for them to manually log into something just because they want to go there and it should work. Rule number 2 needs to be means that the experience during the workout needs to be fun. If I'm not extremely passionate about the fitness, I can only create a habit into my routine every single week or maybe even day if it's something that makes a lot of fun. And so we need to also add fun on the training floor during the workout. And rule number 3 is we want to motivate through data. When I started using the gym as an unsuccessful gym goer, I always wondered after I left the gym, did I actually achieve something today? And I was born and raised in Germany, and I played a lot of soccer here, and I kind of always felt like going to the gym feels like playing soccer without counting goals. And it's really hard to imagine that I would really give everything I can to in this one sprint or so to actually have to secure that someone is not scoring if we don't count the scores anyway. But that's actually so important, to really stress our muscles, to really go to a maximum, to actually have growth. And so we believe we also need to display data just in a way that matters for members, to motivate them and have them showing up again because we demonstrate progress. And the great news about our biology is if we work out, we will have success. And so the 3 rules are to make the gym work for everyone. It has to be easy to use, it has to be fun during the workout, and we need to motivate through data. Let me speak a bit more about easy to use. So again, we believe we cannot expect any manual effort for the gym goers. Like the gym has to be just feels naturally, and they have to get the feeling that they just do everything right. They're really efficient here, and they know for sure they can't do anything wrong. And when we think about that, we realize that in order to make the gym really easy to use, there's digital technology needed, because only if everything is connected, then basically we can make sure that all the machines, for example, on a training floor, know you as a member already and would be set up automatically. But what we're facing when we entered the industry, we realized that unfortunately there was no established technology standard in our industry. What I mean by that is there are different authentication methods. but also there's also different systems from different manufacturers and different software suppliers, and so there were lots of silos, but there was no consistency across my entire workout data. You could argue that maybe I was able to achieve connectivity across the entire training floor if the gym operator would only buy from one equipment manufacturer wall to wall. But obviously a gym operator cannot do that, cannot afford it because of being too dependent on one party. But on the other hand side, today's world works with best of all breed, and so of course operators want to choose from different players, and so there was no consistency in connectivity. Then there was still some areas of the gym that were just purely mechanical, and so it was hard to connect it. And then of course, when I pitched initially my story, gym operators always ask me like, what, it's not proven yet, so it's highly risky for me to invest now in all the technology. What is the ROI? And so these were all the problems we were facing when we tried to understand better the industry. And then we have developed our concept around the eGym Cloud. The eGym Cloud is really developed because we believe in order to make the gym easy to use, fun during the workout, and to motivate through data, we need to bring the entire gym on one digital platform. And that's what the eGym Cloud basically does. We connect membership software suppliers like Motionsoft, cardio equipment manufacturers, wearables, fitness apps, also those fitness tests and health checks. We connect all that into one cloud system, and we want to create here a market standard. And that's why it's an open platform, and it's even for free for everyone who connects to this platform, but also for everyone who uses this platform, because we wanted to be extremely convincing to tear down the wall of the silos and really basically help to bring everything on one platform. And we call that, we are category agnostic. We bring everything that matters for gym goers together, and we are supplier agnostic, and we just try to bring everything into one digital platform. These are the brands that work, like just a selection of the many connected partners we have that work right now with us already. We have on the cardio side companies like Preco, Matrix, Life Fitness. We have on the membership software side companies like Motionsoft or Exerp. We have Fitbit, we have Runkeeper, and of course we have InBody as just examples of all the brands that we bring supplier and category agnostic on one platform. We then have also on the right-hand side, you can see that there a for free member app. In that member app basically displays all the data that we collect there and provides the members with an interface. This app is called eGym app, and it's purely, designed around workout data. But we learned, of course, that actually for the gym business, workout data is a very important part, but it's not everything. There are lots of other functionalities. And also for the brands, it's really important to communicate through their own brand. And that's why we have now stepped into a very close partnership with NetPulse, where we basically, so the gym operators can always use our member app for free. But if they are even a NetPulse customer, we don't need our member app anymore, because we send all the data from our eGym Cloud into the NetPulse branded app. And it's basically we deliver the workout data part, and NetPulse builds around it the entire experience for the members, including then also marketing tools and administration tools. And so in the future, all the NetPulse customers have now access to our library of more than 1,000 workouts. It's going to be directly built natively into the app. And then, of course, also all the analysis that you can find right now in our eGym member app will be then displayed, including all the history in one place, and that's the NetPulse app. And this is for me so important. That kind of, we really believe now with the eGym Cloud, you will really add a lot of value to the NetPulse app, because what we do there is actually, we tie the entire training floor, all the things that really happen on the training floor, we tie that into the app. for free in our member app, or if you decide to work with our partner from NetPulse, we will then basically hand over the data to NetPulse, and then the NetPulse app is really closely tied into the training floor. And that was the starting point also for John and me to discuss our partnership, because we realized we from eGym, we had an app that was purely focused on workout data, and I heard a lot of complaints that actually gym operators want actually their own branding and so many other important functionalities, but that was not what the eGym member app was designed for, as a for free app. And then John walked me through his challenges, that the actual gym app needs to be much more tied into the training floor. And so that's why we realized, hey, when we partner together, we solve a big issue for gym operators. And now the NetPulse app is directly through the eGym cloud, really tied closely into the training floor, and speaks to all the categories and all the suppliers that we have on our platform, and it's growing every day. Of course, we don't forget about the personal trainers, because I think there's nothing more motivating than speaking to a personal trainer and promising that you will show up tomorrow again. And so we have also a for free eGym trainer app, where basically the trainers have access to the entire eGym cloud data, and they can create, for example, training plans and review training results of the members. And of course, when they prescribe, for example, a workout, it will be directly then again in the NetPulse app displayed to the PT customer in that case. This is one example of our partners. This is Matrix, and I want to speak now about how important we believe a frictionless connectivity is. We really strongly believe if you have any manual type in effort for the members, for example, logging in, scanning a barcode, logging in, typing username and password, typing in a PIN code, statistics show that you would exclude 95% of the members. And that's why we really strongly believe in frictionless connectivity, and we have implemented that with our partners. So basically, you have one membership card. It could be also wristband, and through the eGym cloud now, your this access card you can swipe it for access control, even for lockers, but also now on all kind of equipment, you just quickly swipe it. It's RFID, and the machine would automatically know who you are, what to do today, what to do tomorrow. And it's just like an absolutely frictionless, easy login. Now the members type, they click on go, but go is not anymore a totally random, stupid quick start to a totally random training protocol, but it's actually a quick start to the personalized training plan. And when they exit the machine, all the data is automatically tracked and goes back to the eGym platform, and then is distributed to whoever other stakeholders, like the members using the for free member app or the NetPulse app, and the personal trainers having access to the data via personal trainer app. This is another example with our partner Precor. There you can really see we have completely developed our philosophy of, we call that one training experience. You even find the eGym graphics there on the screen. It's a quick start on the top right corner. You see the start screen. Here, the user sees right now 4 different training plans. They can be created from the personal trainer. They could be distributed to all the members from the gym operator. All those templates could be also created even from the member herself using the member app. Then she would hit the quick start button, but now again she will be on her personalized training plan. We then demonstrate her during the workout in a gamified way that she needs to keep the ball in a curve, and the curve defines the intensity. So we can have her focusing really on a little game while hopefully pushing much harder than normally, and then also maybe for a shorter period of time, which then helps her to have more success in less time, and it's going to be less repetitive, and she will stay with the gym for a much longer time. And then after this fun experience during the workout, we also show the history of the entire workout, and we hopefully show progress, which is not the case in this example. But of course, all of us would have, a steep incline in this curve here. We have then figured out at eGym that there was one area still left and was not connected yet, and that was the strength machines. And it's quite interesting. Just I can tell you from an outsider from the industry, when I entered the industry, I asked I looked into the industry statistics. What are the top goals of global gym goers? And goal number 1 was weight loss, and goal number 2 was muscle skeleton diseases, kind of, back pain, arthrosis, all this kind of stuff. And then I asked medical experts, what would be the number 1 recommendation you would provide to your members when in order to tackle their goals? And the answer was always strength training. I was a little bit surprised because I thought weight loss is, purely cardio. But then I learned, when we build up a muscle costume, then we actually consume, calories every single moment of our lives. And then, I was walking into gyms, and it was very interesting for me to see. I walked into a gym, and I saw on the left side a lot of cardio machines, used by deconditioned people. And then I saw a lot of athletic people using the strength area. And I was kind of surprised that if a new deconditioned person would walk into the gym, they would just go also to the cardio machines where all the other deconditioned people are, and they wouldn't go to the strength area. And while I totally believe cardio is a very important part of the gym, and we should all do that, it makes a lot of sense for our entire health system, we should not forget about strength training. And when you compare strength training to cardio training, strength training is much, much more difficult. On a cardio machine, you have the option just to go there, turn on TV and hit the quick start button. So it's not so difficult to do that. On the strength side, you need to change a lot of different pieces of equipment. You have to set up every time again the seat position. You have to set up the right training weight. You have to define how many reps you want to do. And you're all experts. For you, it sounds very easy, but I can tell you, for me and for many, many people in the mass market, it's too complicated, and that's why they don't do strength training, while this would be actually a requirement for them to achieve their goals. And that's why we have developed this smart strength machine that nicely integrates into the eGym cloud. And thus, basically, in our customers' gyms, we have everything connected, even including the selectorized machines. It's an easy to use machine because you just swipe your membership card or a wristband, whatever you use right now already in your facility, and it will directly know who you are, put up the right seat position, put up the right time and attention, the right training weight. During the workout, it's fun. We show again this curve. We need to keep the ball in a curve, and after the workout, you have directly all the results in the eGym cloud, and thus we can demonstrate progress. This is a typical implementation. Most of our customers actually use our smart strength machines as a circuit, and they typically use it as an onboarding tool. That's also something interesting what I found. I saw a lot of people in our industry focusing mainly, and I understand it's more fun, mainly on performance. But when we look into the industry statistics, we see that we lose most of our members within the first 3 months after they joined our membership. And the reason is they're like, for them it's quite intimidating to enter this place. They feel like everyone is so knowledgeable about working out. Everyone exactly knows what to do. They look all great. I'm fat, for example. How can I deal with this? And so that's why we have developed this eGym circuit as an onboarding tool. So it takes 15 minutes only to set up all the pieces of equipment for a new joiner, and then they have no excuse not to show up. It's just one round takes only 15 minutes. So we recommend 2 rounds, 30 minutes, warm up on a cardio machine, another 10 to 15 minutes. And that's just the training protocol for the first 2 months. In the first 2 months, they know for sure they can't do anything wrong. It's a training plan that evolves over time. We change the way we stress the muscles. but it's also great for the mind that you see progress. You move on in your training plan, and then depending after the on the philosophy of the gym, after 2 months or 3 months, we send a notification to the personal trainer who's right now on the training floor. Hey, PT Adam, Kate is just in the e-gym circuit. She's with us for 2 months. She showed up every week, twice a week. She has 2 different muscle imbalances that we have figured out through her using the equipment. She wants to lose weight. She lost actually a little bit of weight. But now, you can pitch your service to her based on all the data you know about her, and show her more of the gym and help her to, go the next step out of the circuit. And with this model, we realized we can really nicely, onboard a lot of people for a low price, because we only need 50 minutes for an onboarding, and then they're on a perfect setup for the first couple of months. And we can make sure the PT can then pitch their service to every single new joiner, because the circuit will kind of push every single new joiner to have at least one PT pitched to them. So that was all about the easiness of usage. About motivational data, I want to actually tell you a little analogy that we figured out. We from eGym, we try constantly to learn from other industries, and after I had a conversation with the founder of Duolingo, I thought that actually there's a big analogy between working out and learning a language. I'm sure that most of you did not ever think about this analogy, but it's really surprisingly really a similar problem, because you can only learn a language if you continuously put effort in it. It's like a never-ending project. You have to speak it, you have to learn it for the rest of your life. The same is true for fitness. You can't just have now an extremely sporty month and then you're good for the rest of the life. The secret source of success in both cases is just keep doing every day a little bit for the rest of your life. A second analogy here is that actually you never feel a direct return on investment. If you now learn 30 minutes French words and you go to a coffee shop, you still can't even order a coffee. Or if you now for the first time in your life go to gym and you work out hard, you get red face, you really get really sweaty, you feel like, oh my gosh, I did a lot of great things today, and the next morning you look in the mirror and you see zero impact on it. And so that's the second thing is really similar in both problems. And the third area is for the mass market customers. It's really repetitive and not a lot of fun to learn words, and it's also really hard to work out, every second day or every third day, if not fitness is one of your real passions in life. And when I look through the Duolingo app, I figured out a couple of things they do really well. And one is they push for streaks. So what they do is the problem always is when you decide whether you want to learn the language today or not, you can always make the decision, well, today I'm not going to learn the language. And it will have no impact, right? Because as there is no direct return on investment, tomorrow, whether you learn today or whether you not learn today, your level of French would be in 2 days still exactly the same. Same is true for working out. Whether you work out today or not, your health level will be in 2 days exactly the same. So that's quite a toxic situation. And Duolingo has turned it around. Every time you use the app, you collect a streak. So for example, if I use the app for 10 days, then I have a 10-day streak. And now on day 11, I'm in front of the situation whether I either use the app again and keep learning and I make it to 11, or I don't use the app today and I lose my entire 10 days. And so they have turned around this logic from having nothing to lose to having more to lose if I don't work out today or if I don't learn a language today. And we keep translating all that into our platform. They also figured out that if you use the app for too long, you have no chance to actually keep doing it for the rest of your life, because if you do it too long, the session is so like repetitive that it feels every time again more and more painful to even open the app. And so they manage the user to really not do a lot initially before the users really get engaged. So on the fitness side, we have to design, especially for the beginners, workouts that should never be too long, that should never represent a good reason why you can't squeeze it in today. And one thing that I think is like really powerful at the Duolingo platform too is they're chunking and unlocking the big problem. You need maybe 5 years of being fluent in Mandarin, but that's not very motivational. So they offer you, you're just two sessions away from the next level. And I told that story to someone from karate, and he told me, you know what, Philip? 20 years ago, we only had the black belt, and we realized we lose so many people, and that's why we've introduced the blue, the yellow, the orange belt. Now they even have half-color belts. So they want to show the young karate users that you're always just a little bit away from the next level, and that's so much more motivational than you're many years away from your goal. And what is also interesting at Duolingo platform is that the relative information, like the leaderboards, they especially help to re-engage inactive users. So, hey Philip, Nadine just took you over. Go back to the gym and put your position right on the leaderboard again. So on our member app side, we track all the data, and we try to learn from a lot of different industries, and then really just use the workout data in a way that it really helps to retain the gym goers and to help them to achieve their goals. Number one requirement, just to do a lot of other stuff, is just track everything. If something is not yet connectable, you still can track it then manually in the app. But we are, of course, on our mission to connect more and more automatically to really reduce manual effort. We then also analyze the data. For example, one of the really famous features at eGym is the biological age, where users see that the more often they show up, the younger they are. And it's really important, especially for unexperienced users, when they maybe don't see directly a return on investment on the scale or in the mirror. We can show them that they get younger and younger. And our activity levels is basically the fitness translation of the Duolingo chunking and unlocking levels. So basically, you compete against yourself from 28 days ago, meaning every 28 days, we delete your points. For everything you do indoor and outdoor, you collect points. And you can, have to keep your level. You can, if you're not active enough, you go down a level, or if you're really active, you go up a level. And then we provide the users with statistics from the World Health Organization. What does it mean for the quality of life if you, for example, in this case here, level 4 gold? It could mean, that if you're level 4, you're 65% less sleepy during the day. And then the users can basically, on their challenge of being against, competing with themselves of 28 days ago, every single day, they can define what is the quality of life I want to have, and then they need to act accordingly. And of course, again, the personal trainer then has access to all the data, also to to the motivational data, like the bio age and stuff. And so we really want to help to have the trainers being freed up from routine tasks and be really helpful because they know all the data. On our personal trainer app, they can plan the workouts. They see all the analytics about the check-in behavior, about what they did outdoor, just the entire activity. What is the training goal? How many training plans are in place? When did the last training plan expire? Or did she get the last training plan 5 months ago? Things like that. Are there any data points we know about that mark a critical moment? She might be even, shortly about to quit the PT service, or even worse, the gym membership. And then we can show reaction. And then also, besides that, we show really deep statistics about the body from the person in front of us. And so we can really can start a data-driven coaching experience and really tackle the real issues and help to accelerate the relationship between trainer and member, and thus also the gym operator, as the experience is much, much more advanced than trying to figure out what's her name, what's her training goal, what did she actually do last time, because that's all available at fingertips and we can directly go into problem solving. Well, and yeah, rule number 3, it needs to be fun during the workout. Again, I was just speaking about the user experience has to be easy to use. We achieve that through connectivity. It has to be, motivational through data. We achieve that through connectivity. And it needs to be fun during the workout in order to be able to create a habit. And that's why we should try to, in real time, use the data that is right now being generated and turn it into a game, or turning into something, a fun visualization with instant feedback to really help the users to basically focus on their workout, because we need them to focus on their workout. We need to focus them on a workout that is really also hard for them, because then really they have progress, and only if they have progress they will stay forever. And that's always one of the sad things, I think, about the current state of our industry, is only 10% of the members achieve their goals, and that's why we're such a high churn rate. But there are actually not a lot of industries in this world that could, sell their product for the rest of the life to someone, because the gym is something that improves the quality of life for the rest of the life, and we want to make sure that this is the case. And we can only, keep them for the rest of their lives, other than moving houses, if we create also a fun user experience, and then push them to the limit in order to really have them achieving their training goals. And we call that one training experience because it's across all different platforms as one consistent user experience, and we offer that for gym operators that then you guys can really work with it. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm looking forward to answer your questions.
Hey, thank you so much, Philip. Attendees, this is your chance to pose questions to Philip. There's a bunch already that are queued up, Philip. So let me start with Sean. And Sean asks, in the future, will you not need both eGym and NetPulse apps to access all features? Will you be able to access all features just through NetPulse?
So we are an open platform, and basically we will over time, work with a lot of other companies too. But of course, we are also selecting always strategic partners where we go really deep, where we have our engineering teams working really closely together, and that's the case with NetPulse.
Also, I have a question from Alex, who poses, how does eGym view the onset of virtual fitness? And is there already an integration with companies like Wexer, or is that on the roadmap?
That's definitely on the roadmap. We believe right now, so we think all those companies are really amazing. And we need to tackle all this entire big, huge project we work on from multiple angles. We right now really are basically trying to first build the infrastructure, and I can highly encourage all the gym operators really start, for example, before I would start selling services to people that are not even our members, I would first start bringing all my members in a really engaged fashion on a platform, and from there move on. But it's great that we somehow also paralyze this development, but our goal is build this infrastructure, and on top of this infrastructure where we connect everything, then also integrate players on that platform that actually drive value. And Wexer for sure tries to drive value to the customers as Fitness of Demand drives do. And we love those players, and we think they will be a great addition to our platform one day.
Awesome. Hey, Philip, I've got a question from Michelle, who asks, does your app support small group training? And if it does, can we run leaderboards?
That's something right now that we would do through NetPulse. it's definitely possible, but it's not part of our, our for free member app basically is an app that just has to, one size fits all model because it's completely for free. But with NetPulse, we push over the data, and then they can even create like different small groups with different leaderboards. That's absolutely doable. And I think even some, we have in the pipeline already some people that actually do that with NetPulse.
Awesome. Hey, let me switch over to Kevin, who is kind of following up on the NetPulse relationship. And Kevin asks, what's the implementation date for those with NetPulse?
So we right now intensely work on this deep integration. And right now we believe in Q1 we will be able to ship.
Excellent. So Q1, Kevin can start running his NetPulse and simultaneously work with eGym.
Yes.
Cool. That's great. Let me shift gears again, and thank you, Kevin. Let me jump over to Brian. Brian asks, is there a way to connect other strength equipment vendors? Good question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have really the mission to connect everyone. The only requirement is that the other vendor actually wants to be connected. But we are also happy to hear suggestions. We have already a big pipeline of vendors that are on our pipeline to be connected, and we prioritize them basically based on the feedback we hear from the market.
Philip, do you want to talk about some of the partners that you brought to the Motionsoft Technology Summit? Because you sure brought a lot of equipment manufacturers with you.
Yeah, I mean, we have we of course started with the most relevant players in the world, and that's why we have connected companies like Precor, like Matrix, and Live Fitness.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, let me jump over to Nick. You're getting a lot of questions today, so hang in here just for a second or two, and let me get to Nick's question. Nick asked,
I love it.
I know, this is excellent. Nick asked, do you find challenges to trainers actually using the data? In my experience, trainers are slow to adopt technology and data when we have tried to implement it. How do you overcome that friction?
So I think this question depends a little bit on what kind of trainer. When we speak about a personal trainer, we definitely realize that whenever we confrontate them with technology, an initial natural reaction is this going to replace me? And so we focused hard on basically using the data in the trainer app to directly help them to sell more personal training sessions, as they know so much more now about all the people that are right now on the training floor. And then the mind shift, there's a mind shift happening, and then they even see the positives of managing their clients in a much more high quality way, because the data is already always available. But we typically start really with showing how we have successfully helped PTs to sell much more service because of the data that's available at their fingertips, and then uses even the trainer app during the workouts. But that's very important, that it's a very natural feeling, because those people have to make sure that now no one basically attacks their business.
Philip, as we think about the kind of the constellation of connections that can occur between various platforms, to Dan's question here, kind of interesting as we look at healthcare providers and insurance companies. Dan asks, will I be able to share my muscle analysis data with my doctor in the future?
Absolutely. Like once we have really built this infrastructure in the gym industry, we believe we will be able to open the data to other players that are relevant. And number one requirement is the member needs us to allow us to open the data to, for example, a health insurance or a general practice, or to your doctor, to your hospital. It's always, every single time again, the user needs to approve us to do so, because we strongly believe you cannot build products against your customers, and the data is owned by the the member, by the gym member. And if they allow us, we will in the future open the data to the software of GPs, of hospitals, of health insurance, whatever the user wants us to do. And I think, by the way, this will accelerate our market growth drastically, because when the health market is the largest in the world, like the US health industry is much, much, much more bigger than, for example, the globally addressable market for online advertisement, which is the world market for Google. And so it's going to be a great time for our industry once we connect fitness to the health market. But we're not yet there. We're still building the infrastructure, but that's for sure the future.
Awesome. Hey, good question. Thank you, Brian. And a follow-up from Brian as well, too. You said it's free. How is that possible? And he's referencing your business model and the cloud.
Yeah, that's a great question. So our goal is to build around the eGym cloud. Basically, we called it applications that generate then also revenues for us. And the idea was really born initially when I pitched this idea of a smart strength machine. Initially, the large equipment makers didn't find it appealing. And so I thought, well, but we need that in order to really make sense with the eGym cloud over a long time, because at the end of the day, one day we want to connect everything. And so now we realize that lots of eGym cloud customers buy eGym machines that finance us. But there are also thousands of there are 1,000 locations that use the eGym cloud and don't buy anything from us yet, and that's totally fine, because we are having a lot of other services in our pipeline too, and we just always try to add value. And we can only establish this as a standard if no gym operator will ever feel forced to buy something from us. And we have in Europe now a lot of other stuff being rolled out. Like, for example, we do even online marketing for those gyms, and we can do that much more efficiently because we know what kind of people go there, so we can address a similar audience online, and so we can drive efficiently new members into the club. That's something we haven't rolled out in the US yet, but there are lots of offerings we can bring to the table to then help the gym operators to advance their business. But the eGym cloud needs to be for free. Otherwise, we will not make sure that everyone is really for free also to be connected. And if someone would charge for it, it will be too expensive again. So here we basically first invested, and then over time we think we can add a lot of value to the gym industry and then also turn it into revenues. But it's absolutely not a requirement, for example, to buy our equipment now.
Well, I think the attendees are, kind of getting this underlying message of successful fitness outcomes for members. And attendees, this is your chance to kind of keep posing those questions, whether it's around user experience or training or applications or even the cloud. So go ahead and use that question interface inside of the control panel to pose your questions here. We only got a few more minutes with Philip. Philip, let me jump over to David's question for him. And David has a good one. Where do all the different emerging platforms out there merge, crossover, conflict, or otherwise? Some companies are seeking to serve as a pure tech app play, aggregating data from other companies or equipments, and others are seeking to build equipment. How do you see this unfolding, and where is eGym positioned?
Yeah, we indeed basically, built we have built already the globally largest aggregator of data that is relevant for gym goers. If you now refer to aggregators like MyFitnessPal or something, they focus just on more like data integration from consumer app and consumer device brands, and they're really easy to be connected. They have all a public API. But our platform is really focused on creating a fantastic user experience for gym goers and have the gym operator owning that experience rather than using just Google Fit or Apple Health Kit as the aggregator. Here, this aggregator is really tied very closely into the gym industry. We connect the trainers, we connect the members, and the gym operators access to the data. They can buy whatever they like. And so typically, we just use some of our partners have built their own platform, and that's totally fine. And some of the gym operators even use the platform. But what we do is we just then, access all the features that they have developed with their platform and bring it into, one unified platform where gym operators have a guarantee that the user experience stays consistent, independent, what kind of hardware equipment purchasing decisions they make.
I mean, Philip, is it fair to say that maybe you're the Google search engine of unified gym platforms?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So there, you could argue that because we integrate all data, but it's Google search is basically searching the world, and yeah, we focus only on the gym goer. But maybe that's right. Yeah.
Hey, let me shift gears again, attendees. We've just got a few more minutes, so if you've got some questions for Philip, keep them coming. I want to circle back for a second, Philip, to your presentation. The challenges you were facing with club operators, kind of chatting about ROI, and I think what's kind of struck me is, the user experience aspects are incredibly easy to use within eGym, but what's kind of interesting is how deep the connection can go between the member and the club or the trainer. How are clubs looking at that ROI, that deepened connection with the member?
Yeah, that's absolutely important because at the end of the day, it's so like when you think about it, how much of a experience of a user experience in nowadays, even when you go into a brick and mortar business, how much of the experience nowadays is just how your data is integrated, how your user experience on the phone is. It's extremely important part of the entire member experience, and in my opinion, gym operators need to create a certain philosophy and user experience that when the gym goers go there, they just feel and breathe and realize in every single minute there that this is very unique. And so it could be, for example, just to give you an example, we have a lot of gym operators that actually still have also, in Europe, we have gym operators that have even floor trainers. But some of we have also, of course, lots of customers with personal trainers. And what they typically do is they create customer care philosophy. It could be every member of our, brand will get created a new training plan every 3 months. And whenever someone checks in and it's, 3 months the same training plan, someone would quickly approach her. Hey, Anna, great you're here back. I see you have since 3 months the same training plan. It's part of our philosophy to keep, confusing your muscles. And, it's also great for your mind if you have constant change. Can I quickly change for you, add for you a training plan? That conversation will maybe take 10 minutes, but it will demonstrate Anna heavily that, those guys, they really take care of me. And it could be the case that my philosophy is not a personal touch point at all. I'm just pushing, automated workouts to my membership every 3 months. That's fine too. But I think we all need to use those. I have seen a lot of gym operators in the past trying to develop, for example, an own platform. And I can only encourage everyone, the number one goal for CIOs in our industry is using the technology that is there in order to create a very unique user experience for the members. And so our customers are using this technology to create a unique user experience that differentiates them just because they are executing exactly what they're promising. And that's also really important for building your brand.
The other day I made my first prediction for 2018, and I basically said, when we talk about achieving great member experiences in 2018 in the fitness industry, the number one tip is going to be creating successful fitness outcomes. And why we kind of get the clean floors and sterilization wipes and personalized greetings and equipment that's in working order, even some type of special atmosphere. Those are all important, but I think leveraging kind of this collective approach to fitness outcomes is the shift that clubs really are going to start focusing on as we talk about member experience. For clubs that are ready to make that shift and connect with you, can you provide some contact information for you or your team, or a URL that they can go to and talk with your team to get started with eGym?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone can reach out to me. My email address is very simple. It's Philip, like Philip, R, and S, like school. So PRS, like school, at egym.com. That's my personal email address, and I'm happy to receive all kind of questions, and can then also hopefully answer them or forward to my team.
Excellent. Of course, attendees, you can always visit egym.com as well. Hey, Philip, it's been a fantastic presentation. I'll tell you, lots of interest. We almost reached our registration capacity for your session. So certainly a lot of operators out there that are thinking about fitness outcomes for their members in 2018. And I can't thank you enough for sponsoring the Motionsoft Technology Summit and for being our guest today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation, Ton. It's always my great pleasure.
Oh, thank you again. And attendees, don't forget the Motionsoft Technology Summit in 2018 will take place on October 1st through 3rd in Washington, D.C. It'll be our 5th anniversary. We're very excited and hope you'll join us then. In the meantime, take a look for an email with a link to the recording of this session. Again, thank you, Philip, and thank you, attendees. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.